What's going on today, Internet Selfish here with Retrospect. Today we're going to take a look at the TrimUI Smart Pro. If you've been on this channel for a while, you're probably thinking to yourself, but Selfish, you've already showed us this device before. And you're right, I have. But I got a sneak peek at some custom firmware that's coming out for this called Tomato OS. And I thought we'd check and see if it's any good. Let's take a look. All right, before we get into that, I'm just going to give you guys a couple of the specs on this device. We're not going to spend a whole lot of time with it, but this is running an all-winner A133P, or the A133 Plus, 1.8 gigahertz processor. The GPU in this is an Imagination Power VR GE8300 at 660 megahertz. Its display is a 4.96 or aka 5-inch screen, IPS, non-touch display. Resolution 720 by 1280. For RAM, it's got 1 gigawatt of LPDDR4X. Its internal storage is 8 gigs of eMMC. It does have Wi-Fi, great for retro achievements. For audio, it's got two 1-watt speakers running stereo right here on the front, left and right of the device. 5,000 milliamp battery. They say 5 hours of gameplay. I would say between 3.5 and 4.5 hours of gameplay, depending on what you're playing. If you play some more of the advanced systems, though, I would probably count yourself around 3 on like PSP, Dreamcast, stuff like that. One of the big things I want to touch on with this operating system is it does have a Vulcan Backend now. So if anybody's tested Beta4 before, they have not tested one with the Vulcan Backend. I'll throw a couple of videos up for testing, not a whole lot. I don't want this video to be super long. We'll go through this real quick. This is what your initial screen normally looks like. Oh, what did I do? What did I do? This is what your sign-on screen normally looks like when you get onto this device. Same exact screen that I have here. Oddly, I have this one folder that won't go away that's empty. It has arcade vertical shooters in it. I don't know why it won't go away because I keep making it go away. But again, this is beta software, so you can't really expect everything to be perfect. I'll save it. Next time I load it up, it will be there, I promise. As far as gaming systems go, there is nearly 100 different systems you can play now on this device. And he's doing a really good job making new icons and stuff for all these, taking them some time. Some of these don't have icons because like this Dinosaur, it's a game-ish thing, but it is kind of a system on its own as well. There aren't any decent ways to make a good icon from it anyways, but you do have a lot of systems on here. A couple I haven't ever heard of. I'm going to go back and try them out, and then I might even attack my WonderSwan collection on this because I've been collecting those games since I was a kid. I haven't played most of them because most of them are in Japanese. And the next one, we're going to go through the apps here real quick, so you do have some options here. We do have actually something for the funky now, the fun key, or the function key that's on the bottom here that nobody knew what it did for the first few months this device was out. It was supposed to be a CPU temperer or put it into battery save mode, and now you can make it do that if you want. Use it to turn off your LEDs, put it into quiet mode, things like that. You can do power save like it was originally supposed to do. You can actually put it in performance mode for your CPU now, or you can set it so if you have turbo buttons set, you can choose which turbo buttons activate when you flip the switch on. That's pretty neat. Next, we're gonna take a look here. So Moonlight is on a lot of these devices, but never actually worked. I don't recall it ever working on this device before either, but now we do have full-on Moonlight. It works. It's awesome. One thing I did run into though is initially my keys weren't mapped for it. That took me a while to figure out, so you might run into that same problem yourself. There's a media player in here now, so if you do take this, if you're out to work or school or whatever every day and you want to be able to watch videos or listen to music, you can put them on your memory card in the media folder and use them through this media player. You can also hook up an external USB storage device. So again, if you're doing stuff like that, maybe put all your movies on a jump drive and just hook it in. You're able to do that right there. As far as this logo goes, you can actually make your own logos. So this usually says TrimUI Smart up on top. I changed it out with Retrospect, so it's right up there on the top there. I'm kind of playing around with it a little bit to see how the fonts and everything look and work because take a huge picture that looked like a blurry pixelated thing and trying to create something, but working out pretty good. If you're wondering why 2048 is still on here and it was on here when you got your device, it's because it's hard built into the chipset on this device for some reason. If you take out your memory card, you're still going to be able to play 2048. The oddest thing. RetroArch does give you full RetroArch support now. The Vulcan Backend is on here now too, and again, that is only running in RetroArch so far. It will be in the standalone emulators shortly, I believe. I know they're doing some testing on that. Right now, PPSSPP, if you were to turn Vulcan on the way it's set up today, then you can't get back into PPSPP. I'm hoping that on top of them, obviously making that work, that's similar to RetroArch, they actually put the standalone emulators where we have access to them without going through a game. Because once you screw it up, you can't go through a game, so I actually had to reinstall it, which was kind of a pain. This will let you swap back to the TrimUI logo if you want to. This will change your background music. You can change what music's on there for your background, and you can also change your settings and things for that music as well. You can stop it, you can swap it, all that kind of stuff. Boot logo I haven't been able to figure out yet because I made one to all the specifications of the original boot logo, and it still doesn't come up, so I'm not sure what that's all about. And then the next big one here is going to be the LED temp sensor. So mine's on right now. It's telling me that my CPU temp is good because it starts off green, and then it changes colors as it gets hotter to like your orangish red type temperatures when your device is overheating. You can change what your click sound is when you're going through everything on here. I was trying to get Pico 8 working on here. I don't think I did. I loaded the files on, but I don't think it worked. So I got to play around with this a little bit more. I'm close. As you can see, it's trying to boot in. I'm right there. I just got to figure out exactly what I need in order to get that going. And then obviously another thing for your click sound. NetPlay will work. If you got a couple of these around or even with some other devices that offer NetPlay, you'll be able to hook up together and play. Hook up together. That was bad. That wasn't right. Hook up together was not the right way to say that. You'll be able to play together. Doesn't sound much better, but probably better than hookup. In here, we have our normal settings that were on the other one. Bluetooth works on here just fine. I tried that out already. Wi-Fi works good, even if you want to use it as a hotspot, which I think is really odd for something that doesn't have a SIM card in it. Key mapping, I always go through and just double check to make sure they're right. One thing you do want to check in is on your thumbstick, whether you're in PPSP or if you're in RetroArch, go in and reprogram them because they're programmed in with multiple different inputs for the same thing, and it gets confused sometimes when you're playing more intense games. You try to turn left in a racing game, and your car just keeps going straight, and then you keep hitting it, and eventually it'll realize that, oh, it's not using one of those other commands, it's using this specific command, and then it'll turn. Usually by then it's too late. You can still go in here, and you can do your hardware testing in here like you could before. Go through, make sure all your buttons and everything are working out just fantastically. That works out good. We also have the option to calibrate your joysticks. Again, I would do that. I do that pretty much on all these, or at least go in and make sure they are calibrated. These ones don't have a whole lot of travel, so they're really easy to calibrate if they're not calibrated correctly to begin with. And then you can go in here, you can look at all your device info like you could on any other device. So a lot of this is mid-OS. It looks like a lot of other OSs we've used, but this is a really clean operating system that TechToyTinker has put together. Good shout out to him, and thanks for letting me take a look at this early. So I was able to get it all loaded up with Vulcan support and play with it for like the last 24 hours. It's the only device I've been using, just trying to make sure I knew how to use everything on it. We'll go through a couple games, just a couple really quick snippets, just because I don't want to make this video any longer than it has to be, and I feel like I'm already rambling. And I'm sure I'm missing some stuff on here. I'm just trying to think of what it would be. I'm only going to show you a couple seconds of each game, but I wanted to point some things out. Seems to think that there's some text or something right here, which there probably is. For some reason, it's not showing up. But once you get into the game, these boxes all go away. I was like, oh man, they really screwed this up because that didn't used to be a problem before. And typically on this game, the only thing that's down there is just different commands, not anything important. But yeah, see, now you can really see it. It might be a cause of me upping the resolution on this. That's something I can test out more later on. See, now as you can see, those are no longer there. Those boxes go away as soon as you actually get into the game. It's kind of baffled. But we are running double the resolution of normal on Dreamcast, and it's running just fine. So to not waste too much time, I just figured I'd run around for a little bit. I'm right here at the beginning of Raymond. Never really played this game, but I wanted to try some things out that I hadn't tried out before for you guys. So I'm actually going to try to go through and play this game now. I think that's my goal here. All right, so that's that one. So like I said, these are going to be quick. And here's Daxter on PS1 running 2x resolution. I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to catch bugs or something. This one actually kind of intrigues me too. I come across it every once in a while I'm demoing stuff. I think I need to maybe get into this one as well. Ooh, found an egg. I don't know what that means, but yay. So this runs perfect. Yeah, no problems here. And again, the advantage here is really some of the back end stuff has really been updated since this device came out. So on top of the price coming down, the device has only gotten better. Right around 70 to 80 bucks is probably the sweet spot for this. After that, I'd say, you've seen some of these promos for the AliExpress annual sale that got this down to like 54 bucks. I can't believe it was so cheap, but I saw them on there and I almost got another one. So well priced. Just something to think about. It's so comfortable. It's literally one of the most comfortable, best built, like highest quality little emulation handhelds that I have. Something this size that's running an operating system such as this. This is one of the highest quality ones that's out there. And this new operating system makes it just that much better. And last what we're going to do is we're going to try some Duke Nukem here on PS1. And no, I'm not glitching. That's just what happens on this game when you go to shoot. You see through yourself. Apparently it's not helping though, because I'm not hit. I'm gonna die. It's gonna be too bad for you guys. We're not gonna get to go in the strip club. Like I said, this is running 2x resolution, so it's doing real well. Oh, because I'm inverted. My controls are backward compared to what I'm used to. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. I'm stuck to this chair. That gives you a pretty quick look at the new Tomato OS for the TrimUI Smart Pro. Obviously, it's not out yet, but it will be out soon. So again, thank you to TechToyTinker for allowing me to look at this early and share it with people. Appreciate that. I cannot share the operating system, so please don't even ask. If you have any questions about it, please leave them down in my comment section. I'd love to hear from you, and I'd love to try to get you some answers if I don't have the answers for it already. I'm sure I'm missing something on here. I just can't think of what it is. I think I already went over. There's almost 100 emulators on here, which is just insane to me. I don't remember last time I had to scroll this much to get through the emulator section on the device, and it just keeps going and going and going. Put a lot of work into getting this going and getting things optimized correctly. I know there's a couple things he's still working on as far as CPU performance and things like that. One other thing is if you play a lot of Neo Geo and you keep your files in a zip format, you're either going to want to put them back into the NEO format or you're going to want to move them over into the Final Burn Neo folder. And that way they'll play through Final Burn. This is actually running a proper Neo Geo backend, so it needs the actual Neo files in order to do that. But that's all I got for you today. I'll have links to everything we talked about today down below, as well as I'll take a look around and see if I can find any deals on this device today. There probably are still some with the AliExpress annual sale. If I can find anything that's super cheap, I will throw it up. I know I came across one for like 54 bucks yesterday. I'll also throw up a link to Go Game Geek if you're trying to get this pretty quick. Don't quote me on this, but they used to keep these in the US warehouse, so I assume that they're still there. You can get them relatively quickly if you're in the United States. They do have warehouses all over the world, so just check their website, see if there's a warehouse near you. I just know the US warehouse because I tend to look through that warehouse when I'm trying to get stuff, so I don't have to wait for it. And they do offer some of the best customer service out there, so probably going to be about $5-10 more than somewhere else, but they do have good customer service, so just something to think about. I'll also throw a link up for Tiny Toy Tinker, who is very influential in this space, who's been working on this and is also influential in working on Retro Arena. So if you have any devices that use Retro Arena, another good point of reference for Retro Arena would be Tiny Toy Tinker. Now that I've held your attention this long, there's a couple of videos over here that YouTube is telling you to click on because it thinks that you're going to like them. And you know YouTube's never wrong. Also, if you haven't subscribed yet, the subscribe button right there. If you like the video, please do me a favor, hit the like button. Help me get back in the algorithm. I'm starting to get back into it again, but this isn't coming out at my normal release time, so it's probably going to throw me all off again. So if you do me a favor, hit that like button just to make sure that YouTube knows you're watching it. I would appreciate that. I've got a couple new videos that I'm in the middle of editing, so look for some more videos here in the next couple of days. And that's all I got for you today. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.